CRN Original.
Attention, you are about to hear the captivating voice of an icon in the movie industry. You have heard him and seen him in performances in over 140 films. He's met and influenced many world leaders, and now he's about to tell you how to unite the America he loves.
That job's filled.
Unique. Brilliant. And unpredictable. Robert Davi is a Renaissance man who writes, directs, sings, and does it all with excellence.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all very impressed, but let's get on with it now.
Robert Davi believes he should use his voice to both repay and help unite America, the America that made his dreams come true.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Robert Davi Show.
Good day, my dear friends. So many things are going on. So many things I've heard about, learned about. One of the most, first off, our hearts go out to New York and New Jersey, the East Coast, getting hammered by, I guess, the biggest storm in history. 23 people dead so far, and the count still rising. You know, it's difficult here because we're we're on the opposite end of the spectrum. You would think we would have some water in California, but we have the fires. We have the fires, and New York is having floods, and New Jersey is having floods. I talked to a friend of mine who says they've had floods there before. They're in an area near the Passaic River, and they've had floods before. They're kind of used to the flooding. Muzak? Okay. Is it coming? I continue on and, oh, there it is. It's like a good friend. My music is like a good friend, you know, so I wait for him to approach right after that first thing. So, yeah, I lost my glasses. I don't know where they are. Anyway, so it's terrible what happened here in New York. And, you know, I think they had 6 inches of rain in a couple of hours. And the flooding is astounding. And my friend in Jersey, he's luckily a little higher, but he said floods happen every year. They have floods every year. But what this brings up is several different issues. Of course, Chuck Schumer used this opportunity to push the $3 trillion infrastructure bill, which, my dear friends, please, our politicians are full of shit, okay? I hope that four-letter word, I like that four-letter word. Do you know what I mean? I think we should be saying it right to their faces. Because I'm going to tell you something. Remember when Hurricane Sandy happened? Hurricane Sandy happened. This big Hurricane Sandy happened. East Coast. And Chris Christie was the governor of New Jersey at the time. And Romney was running for president. And Romney was sitting on his hands. He didn't want to go. He felt he shouldn't go to New York or New Jersey. And upstage President Obama, who did go to New Jersey and had a photo op with Chris Christie. That, to me, that moment was one of the defining moments of why Romney lost the election. We were 3 months, it would have been like today, and that the election's in November, okay? Imagine that. Imagine if there's a presidential election in November, and a guy running for president that wants to be president, that's saying to the country, I am a president, doesn't show up in New York. And I said to the Romney campaign, have him hand out water bottles in a flak jacket while the rain is still coming down, and talk about rebuilding the infrastructure of New York City and America. Give the greatest infrastructure speech right there amidst the flooding and everything else. Well, he didn't do it, did he? He lost the election because, see, politicians, they don't solve problems. Politicians are dumb. I don't mean all of them. I'm just angry at that because if my limited intelligence, I'm just like you guys out there. You know what I mean? I just sniff around, seeing what's going around in the world, and then I have a response to it. And if something doesn't smell right or seem right, I go, what's wrong with this? So I'm saying to you guys, what's wrong with this? Why after Hurricane Sandy, when everyone talked about the infrastructure was crumbling in New York City, was nothing done about it? And New Jersey. Nothing was done. The infrastructure bill isn't an infrastructure bill. There's $3 trillion that Chuck Schumer talks and wants to cram down your throats. All right? And yet you'll buy his crap, just like they're buying Gavin Newsom's crap in California. Continually buy the crap that they feed them. George Soros gave another $500,000 to Gavin Newsom. So that's $1 million Soros. What the hell is he giving money for Newsom for? What's Soros doing in America? What's Soros doing in this country? Oh, he's American. I see. He needs to be exposed. Soros needs to be stopped. People like Soros need to be stopped funding people that are seditious to the United States of America, traitors. There was a thing I saw on TV last night. I don't know, not on TV. I was Googling stuff or going through Instagram. I don't know. I do that before I go to bed sometimes, just to see, all right, what's out there? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to see? What's hitting me? What hits me in the gut? And what hit me in the gut is something that I've been talking about for months. Parents United for Education, an organization that I'm starting. And I tell you, in Sacramento, there was a not a town hall meeting. There was a meeting of the Board of Education, whatever that was, the Board of, whatever they're called, the school board. These rotten Democratic corpses that are in the school board. Elisa Kaplan, who was there, who took down the post of a family member. These left-wing, terrible school board people. So I watched this thing and the arrogance of them, of the school board, and parents are outraged because there was a teacher in there that had an Antifa flag and was teaching the kids communism, that they would get extra credit if they protested, if they believed in these. And I don't know all the ins and outs, but Project Veritas did a whole expose on this thing. And this Gabriel Gipe, G-I-P-E, who's an Antifaite, who's a communist. Now, this nation is filled with it. In BLM, in Antifa, every single seditious, it's on purpose. Do you understand that? When are you going to wake up? It's on purpose. That's why you got to take California back. I said that LA Times, who's run by a guy that's a left-wing, fully left-wing Kool-Aid drinker. No, everybody even says, you're a Kool-Aid drinker. That's a stupid term. I shouldn't call him that. He's an ideologist, left-wing. But that's not America. We've got to get these people out of office and render them impotent. They've got to be rendered impotent because they are ruining this nation, and we're not strong enough about it. And you guys sit there and you let it happen. LA Times has an article saying, well, Gavin Newsom's gaining momentum. Well, because of the money that's being spent for him. The unions. The unions bus around people and they tell them what to vote for, who to vote for. That's why the Democrats like the open borders and people not getting education and indoctrination instead of education. So they can tweak them by the nose. They can grow up, get into a union, worry about their jobs and their families, and then are taught how to vote or showed how to vote. Or because they'll take them on a bus, we'll bus you to the polling station. You're going to vote for number 7. What's his name? Joe Schmo. We're all behind Joe Schmo because Joe Schmo likes this. And we don't know how to, our candidates don't know how to campaign. They don't know how to attack the unions. They don't know how to do ads that are strong, that are going to wake up the people. This is a different generation. This is a different time. We're doing politics as usual. We've got rotten corpses like Schumer and Schiff and Pelosi and McConnell and the rest of those pigs in the GOP that do nothing. And we sit around like a bunch of monkeys, like a bunch of morons, and hear the same talking points and the same nonsense. And we do nothing about it. Gavin Newsom's going to, the recall is gaining momentum, or whatever it is. That's because of all the money and all the ads. You know, I saw the crying ads. You got like the Indian ad with the crying teardrop. You know, only this was a Hispanic woman going, I'm a health worker. No, but you know, they're appealing to the lowest common denominator. They're propagandizing it. Gavin Newsom is a disaster. The Republicans in California, 9 in the Senate, 31 Democrats. You tell me how great California's doing with crime, letting the criminals out. So what happens? So all these people go, yeah, let them out, man. Yeah, let them out. It's okay. We've got a bunch of idiots in our nation now. Uneducated, stupid, drugged up, playing video games, emasculated. And you know what the Chinese say? And this is going to be controversy as hell when I bring it up in the next segment. I'll tell you what the Chinese said. All right, America, get ready. Get ready, you weakened fish. You sheep. You worseling. I mean, it's so disgusting to me. And Hollywood follows along like a bunch of little penguins marching along, waddling along. We've got problems in our nation. The lights go out, don't they? I can't take it anymore. You know, how do you justify it? How do you justify it? Gavin Newsom. How do you justify it? Pelosi's nephew. The whole machine is for him. All right? Go ahead. Vote for him. Vote for Newsom. Davi, back in a second.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Robert Davi.
You know, I'm the one delivering the message, not receiving it. So go ahead. You know, I don't get it. I don't get how these politicians. I mean, there's no. I see a lackluster. You got how many guys running on the Republican side? It's ridiculous. So all that energy, all that money split out. It's almost like done on purpose. Instead of focusing on one or two guys and saying selflessly, let's put our eggs in this basket here. And let's give him the support and the money he needs because he needs the noise. Instead of having Gavin Newsom running these ads infinitum, Hispanic, black lady, this, that. You know, the old Indian with the teardrop. Meanwhile, the school board in Sacramento was going crazy because, not the school board, the people, the mothers and fathers, you guys out there, that realize this critical race theory and this Antifa and this communist indoctrination in our schools and our universities is out of control. And I saw the beautiful people, the mothers, the fathers, the students, getting up and speaking and fighting for America, fighting for the right, instead of having sedition in our schools. We've got to stop this. The Democratic Party is out of control. The GOP is out of control. They want a globalist nation. They want a weak America. They don't want a strong America. They want an effeminized America, a castrated America like we saw in Afghanistan. That's why Joe Biden's in office with Kamala Harris. They're saying, get ready, here's America's look now. We killed the lion. The lion can no longer run. We've maimed him. And so now the people, they scratch their heads and they get promised we'll get $1,000 a month from the government. That'll help us. We'll be indentured servants, indentured servants. And then what happens when they have all these jobs, and the jobs that being held or being taken over by artificial intelligence that Elon Musk already has them? And then what are we going to do? What's going to happen, my dear friends? What's going to happen? I wrote an article. Oh, big deal. On Breitbart. America, the first transgendered nation, had nothing to do with sexuality, LGBTQ, any of this stuff. No. But it had to do with the masculinity being under attack, which it is. It's under attack. And let me tell you something. Those nations that are masculine are going to come and take us over. Make no mistake about it. And you can blame Hollywood, media, culture. You can blame them. You can point your finger at them and say, that's right, because communist China is strong. You know what they did in China? AP story. China's government banned effeminate men on TV. Yeah, story today. And they told broadcasters to promote revolutionary culture, broadening a campaign to tighten control over business and society and enforce official morality. Xi Jinping has called for a national rejuvenation with tighter Communist Party control of business, education, culture, and religion. Companies and the public are under increasing pressure to align with its vision for a more powerful China and healthier society. Children's access have been reduced to online games. Good. And it's discouraging what it sees as an unhealthy attention to celebrities. Fantastic. And broadcasters must resolutely put an end to sissy men and other abnormal aesthetics, the TV regulator said, using an insulting slang term for effeminate men. And I won't bring that up. And what they're saying is this, that reflects official concern that Chinese pop stars, influenced by the sleek, girlish look of some South Korean and Japanese singers and actors, are failing to encourage China's young men to be masculine enough. Broadcasters should avoid promoting vulgar internet celebrities and admiration of wealth and celebrity, the regular said. regulators said. Instead, programs should vigorously promote excellent Chinese traditional culture, revolutionary culture. And he's also, the government, Xi Jinping, is tightening control over Chinese internet industries. Data security, enforcement actions, games, Alibaba, and the rest. Some of these took effect Wednesday. They limit anyone under 18 to 3 hours per week of online game and prohibit play on school days. I applaud you, China. China, I applaud you. Remember I said a few weeks ago I'd like Sharia to take over America for like a year? See what happens in Hollywood? Remember? I said that. I said that as a, as a joke, as a provocateur. Because some of what I say is a provocateur. At least it pushes the envelope a little bit. So I say that again. I say, you know what? Well, let's see. Let Sharia take over America for a year. Maybe the Chinese should take over America for a year now with this new. And they say here, the party's also tightening control over celebrities. So I'd be muzzled. They say they should avoid performers who violate public order or have lost morality. Programs about the children of celebrities are also banned. I like that. Yeah. Fan clubs, entertainment news suspended. A popular actress, Zhao Wei, has disappeared from streaming platforms without explanation. Removed from movies and TVs. And they limit pay for performance to avoid contract terms that might help them evade taxes. Another actress, Zheng Shulang, was fined $346 million last week on tax evasion. China is waking up. The sleeping giant has got a game plan. And I wonder how much money in Hollywood you accept. How much money do you guys accept from China? How quiet have you been over the last decades and so? LGBTQ community, who I support. Because it's not to me about this. It's about something else. It's about the attack on masculinity and the propping up of everything else. In other words, white man bad, black man victim, Hispanic man victim, brown man victim, white man bad, white man racist, white man this, white. This is in reverse. What the Democratic Party is doing, it's kind of in reverse. It's kind of inside out. China banning men. You see what I'm saying? Not masculine enough. How many of you guys out there would be out of a job? I'd have a job in China. They'd say, "Hey man, here's a masculine guy. We don't like his politics, so let's kill him." But at least I wouldn't be banned because of my masculinity, like in America today. Today, you can't be masculine. See, there's a difference. America wants to get rid of masculine men on TV and film. It's a reverse play. That's the danger. I'm saying, let's have conservative voices. Let's have liberal voices. Let's have girly men. Let's have men. Let's have it all. Instead of just squeezing it down, Rob Reiner and Bette Midler and Elisa Milano and the rest of you. You're all hypocrites. Hypocrites. Watch.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Tired of lockdown? Let the reconnect begin. You belong here. Welcome home to the magic of Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California. Check out our new spacious outdoor dining al fresco. Romantic, market lights. It looks like a movie set. Dine under the stars and enjoy our tasty Angelo's and Vinci's pizza, pasta, seafood, chicken, salad dinners, and more. In the cool of the evening, come enjoy our award-winning menu, new wine list, specialty cocktails like our peach Bellini martini, appetizers, and more. Angelo's and Vinci's now open every day from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for relaxing outdoor dining. No reservations needed. Just come on in for delicious Italian food. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton. Call 714-879-4022. We're going to need a lot of pasta to get through this year. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton today.
The showroom at South Point presents Donnie Edwards, the next best thing to the King, September 10th to the 12th. This multi-award-winning professional Elvis tribute artist will take you back to the 50s and 60s. Tickets at the box office, online at southpointcasino.com or charged by phone. 702-797-8055. Donnie Edwards, the next best thing to the King, live at the showroom at South Point.
All right, is that a Q2 or a Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA.
Nah.
To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement, ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Robert Davi Show.
I'm Dwayne Robinson, LAPD. I'm in charge here.
Not anymore. So here's what we have. We have this new China. Very interesting timing of this, as America seems weak and effeminized. China makes this, Xi Jinping makes this announcement about no more sissy men on TV and film. No more celebrity. Woke culture is over in China. Meanwhile, the director Paul Schrader, who he wrote Taxi Driver, The Last Temptation of Christ, American Gigolo, interesting guy. And he talks about how the woke can't, and I said, don't be woke, be awake. Be awakened. Don't be woke. But he says now, he's calling it, and I said the same exact thing on this show a couple of weeks ago, that it's an infection. It's the Delta variant. The coronavirus. Worse, because it's infecting the bloodstream of America, this cancel culture. And there's even among friends, this climate. Go back on my shows, you'll see I talked the whole thing about it. And people can't come to other people's defense. It's like when I did the film with Kevin Spacey, who I found to be charming, friendly, open, reflective, penitent, admitting that he had done things in his life that could be perceived differently, not admitting to the rape, of course, of this guy that's running for SAG president, Anthony Rapp. I think it's the same guy. I don't know what happened there. But, it's like if somebody says, hey, I worked with him and I found him to be, what I just said. Well, you get, the stink comes off on you, guilty by suspicion or by contact. It's like with people, I'm sure they see me coming and they run the other way. There's Davi, get away from him. He's a crazy conservative guy. He liked Trump, get away from Davi. That happens. Hey, Robert, how are you? Mm-hmm. Or not even. It's like what Larry David did to, here's when I talked about it. When Larry David in Martha's Vineyard ran into Alan Dershowitz, who voted for Biden, Alan Dershowitz did, who voted for Hillary, Alan Dershowitz did, but he happened to defend Trump on something that was a constitutional issue, of which he is an expert of. And Larry David refused to talk to his old friend and screamed at him. This is the hypocrisy in our nation right now. People, I tweet her all the time, what about your compassion? What about this? What about that? And then we think about the father of the slain, one of the murdered Marines in Afghanistan recently. And all Joe Biden told, well, my son Bo, and he wants to, I know what that is. It's you bring it up, and it's like he's saying, well, I have black friends. You know what I'm saying? It's the same kind of mentality. It's a stupid, dumb, it's a backslapping nonsense. Hey, I'm the same as you. No, you're not. You don't know what those people went through. Your son died of brain cancer. He wasn't blown up on a mission that you were in charge of. So how dare you, looking at your watch? Same thing as, and then I got criticized by people because I said that Pelosi didn't let the names be brought up. Now, the jury's still out on that. I don't know for sure. I've read several articles all saying the same thing. And she had the ability to say, let the session go on and let these men mention the 13 names, and they shut it down. The Democrats shut it down. Meanwhile, they sure let those, whenever there was another police brutality thing, they sure let that. Every day there was another press conference on it. Every single day. It was like the biggest issue, the biggest story in America. Every single day. Because they wanted the black vote. They pimped the black vote. And they fell for it. Hollywood pimped it. It's all bleeding heart nonsense. And believe me, I'm very sensitive. I don't see the color. But America now, our government is making us see color and race and school and education. Like that communist up in Sacramento that's trying to indoctrinate the kids. My daughter came home from school, and I bring this up so many times, Dad, I'm ashamed of being white. 20-year-old daughter when she was probably 9 or 11 years old. I go, what? What could possibly be said? I remember sitting in my classroom in the 60s, the height of all of this, never feeling that. Feeling the compassion, feeling the need. And we were educated on this, all of it, slavery and the whatnot of it all. We were educated on it. But we weren't taught to hate or to separate with it. So how does that happen? How do you go from there to here? Communism. Bill Ayers. Marxism. These generals who were feminized. Milley. Aston. These guys want to keep their jobs so they don't make decisions, they don't rock the boat. It's, and then you have, this whole thing. And here's where, again, I fall apart on it. Every single day, Larry Elders, John Cox, Curtis Silva, a guardian angel. He started the Guardian Angels in New York. I remember when he did that. He ran the subways, and he would go into the subways and he would help people. It was like a more extended neighborhood watch. Wore the beret. He had all these guys in New York that came aboard, and you gave a sense of safety when it was very difficult timing in New York. So he was doing a campaign stop. Curtis Silva. And there was a black, distraught, I assume he was homeless, half naked, walked in front of where Silva was talking. And Silva, because he had been on the streets, don't forget, for years, since a kid, when he was Guardian Angels, he would approach street people, try to help them, compassion to them, find out what made them tick. So he wasn't repulsed by going in there and talking to them or talking to this particular man. So he spoke to the guy. Who knows if the guy had a knife or not? So he spoke to this guy. It was on Twitter. And it was an emotional moment. It was a compassionate. That could win him the mayorship. Showing that kind of on-the-moment compassion. Now, I said this, and I'm not going to tell you who, in which campaign, but I met one of the candidates early on, had lunch, and I begged them to have a town hall meeting with the homeless on Venice Beach. Well, we need time. I got every excuse in the book. We need time to do this. We need to set it up. We need to do that. We need to do this. We need to do that. And it's got to be. He says, no, just bring a camera. Announce on Tuesday. Next Wednesday, I'm going to have a town hall meeting on Venice Beach and send people there to put on tables, chairs, some food, get the homeless, drug addicted or not, and talk to them. Let's have them come up and have a town hall meeting for once. These things they do on Fox and the other stations. Let's have a town hall meeting with the homeless. And I said, you should do that in your campaign. But no, they don't have the imagination or the courage nor the guts. So they do some perfunctory, sterilized version of it. I'm sick of it all. Davi, back in a minute.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Columbo's, since 1954, has been serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere and all at an affordable price. Columbo's is still doing something right. It's why so many travel from the West Side and the Valleys to experience and enjoy what Eagle Rock has known for years. Columbo's is truly something special. Columbo's serves up some of the most succulent, delicious steaks, as well as outstanding seafood offerings in all of Southern California. And the Columbo family's Italian specialties are worth the trip from anywhere. Columbo's is a memory maker. Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock, 323-254-9138. 323-254-9138. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere and all at an affordable price. Columbo's, of course.
Now it's time for Medved's Entertainment Minute.
Acclaimed actors James McAvoy and Sharon Horgan play a British couple struggling to keep their relationship alive in the face of a pandemic and a lockdown in the riveting drama Together, now playing in theaters.
They've just announced the lockdown.
We're getting through it. I don't want to go back to normal.
And this remarkable film is far better than normal, with two superb performers seemingly trapped in their own kitchen over the course of more than a year and oscillating wildly between expressed hatred for one another and deep abiding love. With just two characters addressing the audience as if we were a visitor in their home, director Stephen Daldry, who previously created Billy Elliot, The Hours, and episodes of The Crown, avoids any hint of claustrophobia or gimmickry. It's rated R for loads of harsh language and vivid descriptions of death and suffering, but it's ultimately a profoundly uplifting film and probably one of the best of this year. 4 stars for Together.
Robert Davi.
Another $80 million write-off.
I guess it's time to start cutting overhead.
So, as we're approaching this year, what did we talk about today? We talked about the Chinese wanting to get rid of sissy men on TV and in culture, and denigrating the celebrity voices. Meanwhile, they're inundated in Hollywood, funding a lot of the studios. Did you know that? I wonder what the LGBT community says now. Huh? Incrementally Pac-Man, eating it away. You guys are stupid. You guys are really dumb. I wrote about this in 2010 on Breitbart. I think every person that hears my voice should go to Breitbart, read one of my articles, and then just Google down on the massive things I've said and talked about over a decade. Tell me, am I a prophet or not? Tell me. Tell me if I read the tea leaves. My only drawback is I am not a lawyer, nor a full-time paid pundit. I'm not in the political elite class. I'm in no man's land, actually. I'm in no man's land. I'm like all of you out there, the common man, the worker, guy working for Amazon, the postal employee. I'm just like you guys, shopkeeper. I'm out in the fields tilling, with sweat coming off my face, with the immigrant population. You know what Gavin Newsom said? Gavin Newsom said that California is the refugee state. Now, I haven't heard one political ad on that from the right. I haven't heard that pounded every single day. And I know people talking to Larry Elder and John Cox. I know they feed them certain information. It's okay. I like that. But, for God's sakes, the refugee state, Gavin Newsom wants the refugee state. And we got this guy in Sacramento that's teaching communism. And who's coming into the country? There are pro-migration groups. They want $8 billion in your money and a new citizenship law to fast-track at least 50,000 unvetted Afghan migrants. And this is the Washington Post, a left-wing paper owned by Jeff Bezos, mind you. This is not a right-wing conspiracy. On the back of a napkin, the number they've been floating is $5 billion for the Department of Health and Human Services, $2 billion for the Department of State, and $1 billion for the Department of Homeland Security, at a minimum. At a minimum. At a minimum. They also told the Washington Post they want the incoming Afghans to jump the line in the nation's asylum courts. And the line is several years long because Democrats have allowed at least 2 million Central American migrants into the United States since 2009 under the claim they need asylum from crime and poverty. Where are Americans going to go? Where are you going to go? And Congress could create a mechanism to allow them to adjust to legal permanent residency, like the Cuban Adjustment Act of 1966. And they could apply for asylum stating a fear of persecution if returned. But a survey of Rasmussen, the public doesn't approve of the Democrats' rush to naturalize tens of thousands of Afghans. A majority of Americans oppose the resettlement of more than 50,000 of them in the United States. And this is a survey of 1,000 voters by Rasmussen. See, because in part, many are fundamental Muslims who lack passports. Many pro-migration groups are funded by wealthy pro-migration donors like Mark Zuckerberg, George Soros, Brad Smith, and others who hide their identity. Now, I understand if you fought along the United States. I understand some of this, but we have not vetted these people. We don't know who they are. We don't know what their allegiances really are. Don't forget, Osama bin Laden, right? Weren't we in bed with him for a time in Afghanistan? Didn't we kind of like cozy up to each other, shoulder to shoulder? We keep making the same mistake because we keep voting in the same people that have been there for 50 years. Rotten corpses. Corpses. So, $8 billion in cash. And they get green cards and citizenship. Many of these who lack vital documentation of who the hell they are, or even endorsements by U.S. soldiers. Tens of thousands of these can be in the polling booths by 2028. Meanwhile, millions of Americans are unemployed, earn little money, have difficulty paying their rents. And much of that economic distress is caused by the federal government's policy of encouraging migration into the United States. They're making America worse than Venezuela. I see it happening. Only because the Democrats want potential voters. Because they don't care about you. But the bleeding hearts of Hollywood, they don't care. They won't care until the communist Chinese take over America, and then no more sissy men on TV or film. No more big-mouthed women on TV or film. Or myself. Out, quiet, silenced. Immigration shrinks our political clout. Immigration is, and this is what Schumer and Schiff and Pelosi, Biden and the Democrats, they know. You think they don't know? And they're using you as pawns. It makes me want to chop down a tree and just keep chopping at it with an axe. That's the frustration I feel. I feel that I want to chop and chop and chop and get an axe and just, you know, when you see these scenes of these guys in a Western or something and they're chopping wood for the fireplace. That's the kind of release I need. I need that kind of release. Do you? Do you care? Does it matter? When we have COVID. Why didn't we do the infrastructure? Why? Oh, Jay Leno. Jay Leno. You either change with the times or you die, he said. And he's saying that comedians will have to curtail their content if they want to survive in the entertainment industry, in wokeness and cancel culture. When I do a gig in Utah and they go, look, we don't want any drug jokes, we don't want any sex jokes, I go, okay, I'll take those out. I do something else, Leno said during a recent Zoom call. He's a nice guy. With the Me Too movement, all of a sudden, the sexist jokes everybody used to do, you can't do anymore.
Hey, how you doing?
That's right. So you either change with the times or you die. You adapt to circumstances. And then he felt the need to apologize for a series of jokes he made about Asians.
Hey, I'm really sorry about that.
The time I did those jokes, I genuinely thought them to be harmless, the comedian explained. I was making fun of our enemy, North Korea. And like most jokes, there was a ring of truth to it. Very dicey, very tricky. Very tough world out there. Now you say one wrong move and you're canceled. May, comedian David Chappelle proclaimed, cancel culture shit bothers me, and called out the fake wokevists who try to censor their opposition. Some people say it's no different than McCarthyism. It is different than McCarthyism. McCarthy wasn't censoring you. You foolish people. I have to school these people on what McCarthyism is. We're going to do a show on that tomorrow, maybe. Because people don't know. I'm tired of them equating McCarthyism with everything that is canceling out. This traitor that was up in Sacramento teaching communism to the kids, that's what McCarthy was fighting against. All those people that went to the school board that said, how dare you let this guy speak for us? How dare you let this guy talk to our children and indoctrinate them in communism? How dare you do that? We don't want that. That's McCarthyism. That's McCarthyism. Not cancel culture. Not wokeness. Totally different thing. And the GOP, stupid bastards that they are, even Kevin McCarthy, I hear him use it. Oh, this is worse than the McCarthy era. Like the McCarthy. It's not like the McCarthy era. You morons. So anyway, I don't know. What do I do now? Let me think. What am I going to have for lunch? I need some comfort food. You know, something interesting. What are you guys going to do now? God bless you all.